and an indictment that came over the objection of career prosecutors who said there wasn't sufficient evidence to support the charges. Key context on that. Well, we're going to dig into it as well with Senator Amy Klobuchar, who sits on the Judiciary Committee, because we want to understand that there is definitely the concern of politics around this, given the president's public statements throughout the week saying, now's the time to act and calling for this action. Now, there is an indictment by a grand jury. That means we will move forward at least. We'll see some action around October the 9th with an arraignment. Now, does it actually lead to a successful prosecution? That's another matter entirely. And the former FBI director, Jim Comey, gave that statement saying that he's confident in the legal system. So do those lawyers show the same skepticism you are there in terms of the strength of the case?
Okay, President Trump went after the New York Times for, I think it was $15 kajillion. Mm-hmm. That was thrown out in about 7.25 minutes. Mm-hmm. Olympic speed. Can that same conclusion happen here, where the first judge to see this just says no?
Depends on the first judge to see it. Quite possibly. Yes. And the willingness to fight it. Certainly we see Jim Comey wanting to do that and indicating that he will. But this is even just the fact that there was follow through by this brand new prosecutor who was, it would appear, put in this role to carry out this task, raises a lot of concern about what is being attempted here in terms of the functioning of our justice system, which really underpins everything in our society in terms of the functioning of the courts themselves. Paul. But the president has made clear as he campaigned that he has retribution on his mind.
Paul, Perry Mason on CBS television network. It was never like this.
Never like this. Margaret, it was a busy week for those of us who live and work in New York City with the United Nations in town. President Trump made quite an impact, quite an impression with his speech. It seems like the president, at least from his rhetoric, is kind of walking away to some degree from the Ukraine, from the Middle East, and saying, "Hey, Europe, it's up to you guys." How did you take his comments?
Yes, the president doesn't usually admit defeat or failure. It's sort of quietly passing the buck seemed to be the takeaway on the Ukraine statements he made, but he framed it in a way that caused a lot of people, including the president of Ukraine, to go, wait, what? The president of the United States now believes we can actually win the war that he told us we didn't have the cards to win. So there was great hope that perhaps quietly the president might actually authorize things that would help Ukraine win in terms of the levels and type of U.S. support. We haven't seen that yet. We're going to talk about that with Mike Turner, the congressman from Ohio, who just came back from Kyiv. And there is this real push by hawks in Congress to just say, Mr. President, move forward here, authorize these sanctions. So tougher rhetoric, but we haven't seen much action from the president to back that up at this point.
Margaret, you're killing it. I mean, the ratings are something. I mean, do I care about Comey? No. Are you going to get Colbert or even James Kimmel on the show on Sunday?
We've asked for my colleague Stephen Colbert. We have. I'm a huge fan of his. I've been on his program a few times. He's so incredibly smart and clever. But no, this week we have a lot of focus on the shutdown that we appear to be hurtling towards as well.